You've done the inner work. You've journaled, meditated, repeated the 4 phrases of hooponopono. You've tried to forgive. You've tried to let go. But still, there's this knot in your chest. The anxiety won't leave. The grief keeps resurfacing. And then there's the guilt for feeling what you're feeling. You tell yourself, I should be past this by now. Intellectually, I know better. But nothing changes. And then the next thought, why do I feel so stuck? My manifestations have not happened. My life has not gotten better. The answer is simple, but not easy to hear. You're not stuck because there is something wrong with you. You're stuck because you've been taught to fear feeling your own emotions. You've come to believe your emotions as inconvenient, even dangerous, something you need to fix, manage, avoid, or silence or bypass with a mantra. But here's the truth. Your emotions are not in the way. Your resistance to them is. Your emotions matter because the quality of your thoughts and emotions is the quality of your life. Your emotional state is your frequency, and your frequency is your prayer. It's the signal you send out. So if you're constantly resisting fear, anger, sadness, life will keep presenting you with mirrors that reflect that inner resistance. They could be health challenges, financial blocks, relationship issues. The reflections are not here to punish you, but to help you to see what still needs to be met with love and understanding. And here's what makes this so important. Acknowledging what you feel is only the beginning. Saying, I feel the fear. That's the first step. But if you stop there, if you don't actually let yourself feel it in your body, then fear remains a concept, a mental loop, and you're still holding it. What you do not look at, you choose to keep. To look at it is to acknowledge it, but to feel it is to free it. Because when you allow that fear, that grief or anger to rise as sensation without any judgment, you open the space for it to move. You give it permission to leave, to be transformed. You let the memory unhook itself from your nervous system. You don't collect these emotions and experiences. And in that moment, you're no longer managing emotion. You're cleaning it. That's not philosophy. That's freedom. And it becomes a living experience. And that's the real shift. Stop seeing your emotions as obstacles. The resistance is the inner pressure you're feeling. Your emotions are a portal to something deeper, something more whole and profound within you. But until you learn how to feel what's actually here, without judgment, without fear, you'll only keep cleaning the surface while the memory remains buried. This is why your life doesn't change, why your manifestations stall, why healing feels incomplete. Because if you're afraid of what you feel, you're still running from the very self you're trying to set free. And the one you're trying to set free is the one that doesn't yet feel safe. It's the child within that's holding on to the pain, the fear, the shame, just wanting to be met, loved, and understood. And as long as that part remains in exile, peace will just feel out of reach. The peace is the intelligence working for you, and you are that intelligence. So in today's video, we're going to turn towards the one thing you've been avoiding. And in doing so, we're going to unlock the most sacred dimension of hooponopono, cleaning by feeling. Feeling to heal, and healing through love. Freedom, not through escape, but through surrender. Not by controlling, but knowing that there is a life force within you that can move through anything. Most of us were never taught how to feel our feelings fully, to actually experience them as they arise. so they don't become trapped in the subconscious and quietly running in the background, ruling our lives just beneath our awareness. That resistance is the fear of fear itself, fear of sensations, the fear of what those sensations mean, the fear that you have assigned it when you do not know yourself. We were taught how to function, how to stay calm, how to be polite, how to smile when it hurts, how to suppress what we feel in order to give the appearance that we are in control. From childhood, many of us were told, directly or indirectly, don't ruffle the feathers. Sadness is weakness. Fear is failure. Avoid it at all costs. Anger is bad. And if you feel negative, you're going to attract something negative. So what do we learn to do? We bypass those emotions. We spiritualize them. We analyzed instead of felt. We explained instead of experienced. We stayed in our heads and avoided our bodies. We said, I'm okay, when something inside us clearly wasn't. But here's what you must become aware of. What you suppress doesn't go away. It stays hidden in the underground. And from there, it rules you. And you believe it is being done to you. We push what we bypass or deny into the unconscious. We disown it. We don't take any responsibility for it. But what we deny doesn't disappear. It's still active. One buried feeling of fear becomes 1,000 anxious thoughts. One ungrieved heartbreak becomes chronic tension in the chest. And one avoided emotion becomes a lifetime of patterns you can't seem to break. This is what the yogic tradition calls a samskara, an energetic imprint, a residue of unprocessed and unreleased experience. So suppressed energy doesn't dissolve on its own. It waits for your welcome. It waits for your willingness. It waits for an open heart. It waits to be acknowledged, to feel safe, so it can finally return to the open field of energy that you are. And that is why we clean. We clean unceasingly, not because it's a burden. We clean because we're grateful for another opportunity to let go, to be free, to release what was never fully met. I love you. Thank you. We clean to return to flow. We clean to return to stillness. We clean to return to our natural state. Your emotions are feedback. They're not who you are. They are messengers, a GPS, a path back to your authenticity. Feelings are the first language of the soul. Not the soul you think you should be, but the soul that remembers what is real. And here's why that matters. When fear arises and you resist it, you push it, you become that resistance. Your mind takes on the shape of fear. You contract, you control, you forget who you are. You're lost in your emotions, and unknowingly, you let them guide you. But when you stay present with fear, without judgment, without needing it to change, you begin to remember, this fear is not who I am. It's what I'm noticing. And I can feel it fully and let it move through me. And when I do, I realize fear never had the power I thought it did. Now, this isn't something that you can think your way into. It's like riding a bike. You just have to do it. Reading about balance is not the same as balancing. Theorizing about feeling is not the same as feeling it through. And that shift from concept to lived experience is everything. This is not just emotional maturity. This is emotional mastery. Not mastery over fear, but mastery through love. Feeling fully is an act of surrender, so that what's already here can be seen, can be moved and transformed. It's the offering of your experience to the divine, to be transmuted into peace and light. Because resistance is an inner war. You fight your body. You fight your emotions. You fight your experience. And that's why peace seems impossible. Because you're fighting fear with fear, emotion with emotion, thought with more thought. But the moment you say, I allow this inner pressure that's rising to be here, I will feel it. I welcome the fear. I'm not it. And that's when everything shifts. You're no longer lost in the memory of fear. You become the one watching it, holding it, softening into it, letting it unwind, letting it move, letting it run its course like steam from a boiling kettle being released. That is the wealth of a human being, to be able to hold your experience with profundity, because every feeling carries a message. It reveals a belief you're still carrying, a perception you're still trusting, and a memory you've mistaken for reality. Your feelings are the most precise spiritual feedback system. They speak without words, gently pointing to the misalignment in your thinking. You're believing in lack. You're trying to control. You've forgotten who you are. And in hooponopono, this is everything. Because if you're not in touch with what you're feeling, you're also not in touch with what memory is playing. We don't clean people. We clean the perception. And perception is shaped by how you're thinking, feeling, and interpreting what's happening. And your perception is revealed in how you feel. Cleaning isn't about doing more. It's about meeting what's here, gently, directly, without resistance. You meet it by saying, I see you. You're welcome here. I won't run this time. I don't need to use fear or worry to protect myself. I'm no longer a victim. I am safe. I'm a child of God. And God is the power and love, and in that, I can hold this. That's how we end the inner war. That's how we rise above the battleground. And that's how the vibrational imprint of the memory begins to dissolve, to be clean through non-resistance, non-judgment, and non-interference. So what does resisting our feelings cost us? It costs us our peace, our ability to manifest and to create the life we desire. It costs us our capacity to be fully alive. And in hooponopono, we know that what lives as memory, as a memorized and unforgiven emotion, becomes your reality. We're not cleaning the situation. We're cleaning the memory in us that perceives the situation. Here's what you need to know. You don't drown in what you feel. You drown in what you keep pushing down until you push it down so much that it comes up as road rage. So when you begin this work, please be gentle with yourself. There is an entire backlog of suppressed energy. There is a massive download of fear, guilt, grief, shame, and it's all stored in your subconscious, your inner child, and it's being projected onto your body, blocked from the light of your awareness and waiting to be released. But now you know better. Now you're more aware. Now you can take the armor off. The backlog isn't who you are. It's just stuck energy waiting to be returned to its original state. And that is why Dr. Hewland says, fall in love with the memory. The memory is a misunderstanding of who you are. All problems are just memories replaying in the subconscious, and memories carry emotion. So when fear arises, when grief tightens your chest, when anger burns in your belly, you're not feeling the future. You're feeling the past. In the past, it's over, but it's being replayed on automatic through you as sensation. And the moment you notice that, you're no longer inside the memory. You're no longer stuck in the data. You become the one who can clean it. So here's how. Step number 1, Name the root emotion. Not just the story, not the why or the who or the how, but just the raw sensation of the emotion itself. Maybe it's sadness, anger, maybe it's fear. And then say it to yourself gently. I am feeling fear. I am feeling grief. I'm feeling anger. And then ask, where do I feel this in my body? It could be in your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, maybe your stomach. Now, can you stay with the feeling in that part of your body without resisting it, without trying to change it, without needing it to go away? Just let it be there. Let it move if it wants to. Let it speak if it needs to. You're not trying to fix it. You're holding it. You're learning how to feel it through. Step number 2, ask the deeper question. Every emotion is a signal of a belief underneath. And your job is to bring that belief to the surface. If it's sadness, ask, what do I believe I'm lacking? If it's anger, what outcome am I attached to? If it's fear, what am I trying to control? These questions aren't meant to analyze or solve the emotion. They're invitations to go deeper, to meet the root belief. Because if you can see the belief that's feeding the feeling, you no longer have to become the feeling. You're now in a position to relate to your thoughts and your feelings much differently. Step number 3, clean with curiosity, with openness, with love and gratitude. Now that the emotion has been acknowledged and the belief has been seen, we clean. But we don't clean by escaping. We clean by being with it. Gently, sincerely, saying the 4 phrases. I'm sorry for judging this feeling, for trying to suppress you. Please forgive me for believing this memory still defines me, for my unawareness. Thank you for showing me what I was still holding on to. I love you. You're safe now. You're welcome. You're part of me. Speak these words to the part of you that's scared, to the inner child that's still holding the pain, to the memory itself, to the divine. And when you're ready, surrender the whole thing. Divine Creator, I give this to you. Untangle me from this memory. Transmute it into peace and light. I no longer need it to define who I am. Let the phrases become a space where all feelings are allowed and none are rejected. As Eckhart Tolle says, whatever you accept completely, you go beyond. If you fight it, you're stuck with it. But if you accept it, you transcend it. Feeling is the doorway. Love is the cleaning agent, the solvent. And awareness is the return. So take care, my friends. Be well until the next time.